I'm a little late today because I've been trying to wait to see if anyone was going to kind of cut out their music. First, I had the neighbors who are still playing their music, and then my nephew was playing his music. So I'm really hoping that you're not hearing too much of it in the background. But as promised, I am here. I'm a little late, but I'm here. And what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you this particular tea blend that I mentioned yesterday. Yesterday I made a really awesome bath salts, and the video is here. I will go ahead and I can link it in the comment section below this one so that you can go back and watch that if you feel so inclined. But some of the ingredients that I'm going to talk about today I actually used in bath sauce blend yesterday, so feel free to check that out and go ahead and try to make it yourself. I also posted a link in that video of where you can get the different herbs from, and that link will also work today. I will post the same link today to show you where you can purchase the various herbs from if you want to attempt to make your own version of this tea that I'm going to share with you today. All right, so the tea that we're going to make, well, let's just go ahead and jump right into it, is this particular tea blend. That is the... Hi Ali. This is the tea blend that we're going to be making. Well, actually, I'm going to share with you what's in here. It's already made, but I'm going to share with you the ingredients. So if you want to make it yourself, you can. This is what I've named it, Cool It Down and Relax Tea. However, that was not the original name. The original name was CTFO, Chilled Out. That was basically what it was originally called, but I thought, maybe that's not the name that it should stick with. If that's what you want to name yours after you've made it, that is perfectly fine, but I wanted to kind of keep it family friendly, so it's Cool It Down and Relax Tea. I have another one which is a slightly different version, but it's completely finished, called Dare Me Relax. So once I get that refilled, I've ordered the different herbs, so once I have it remade, or I'll probably just come and do a live and show you how I remake it. But this is the one that I'm going to talk about today. Let me go ahead and just pour some out into the jar, and I'll tell you what's in here. Let's see if I can get it up close. Oop. All right, there we go. All right, so those are, you can see how, let me go ahead and tell you what's in here. There's linden flower and the bark as well. There's elderflower, there's lemon balm, calendula, and peppermint. So that's what's in this particular blend. I'm hoping that you can actually see it. It's very, very pretty. And you can see some of the pieces, the piece that's hanging out right here, that's actually a calendula petal. And I shared with you yesterday, the bath salt blend that I made yesterday has the calendula flower in it as well. And I use calendula a lot because it is so good for the skin, and it's very relaxing as well when you make it into tea. This is an infusion that I use quite a bit as a massage oil, but I also use it to make the moisturizer that I put on my skin every single day. So I think I've shared this with you before, and you can see some of the calendula petals that I also have in here. So I use this oil on my skin every single day, and I have been using it for at least the past 7 years. So this is pretty much what has helped to heal my skin from all of the lupus marks that I used to get many years ago. But this is some of the infusion. This is just olive oil and the calendula flowers that's been infusing in here. So this is the base for the moisturizer that I just shared with you. All right, so let me tell you some of the benefits of this tea. Let me show it to you one more time. And I made some notes so I can share that with you. The linden flower has sedating qualities. It's very relaxing. If you have any kind of anxiety, the linden flower is really good for relieving anxiety, and there are studies that have been done to prove that. So if you're interested, then just go ahead and do a little bit more research into each of these herbs, and that will you'll actually be able to find the research and the different studies that have been done. Linden flower also helps with inflammation. It helps to reduce mild pain. It's a diuretic. It's been used to promote sweating in kids who have a fever or who have a cold. They actually use it to promote sweating, so they get over the illness a little bit quicker. If they have a cough, they also use the linden to help to promote to be able to get all of that stuff expelled from the lungs. Linden flower and the bark also helps to reduce blood pressure. So if you're taking any kind of blood pressure medication, you definitely don't want to be taking this, or you don't want to take the two of them together, because then your blood pressure could actually drop too low. This helps with sleep as well, and it's also good. And you cannot take it with any medication that has lithium in it, and lithium is the medications that are used for like antidepressants. So if you're taking an antidepressant, you don't want to be taking anything that has linden flower or linden bark in it, because the two of them will definitely clash, right? And lithium is one of the main ingredients that's used for antidepressants. I did make some of the tea, so this is what it looks like. Let me go ahead and show you the tea when it's actually brewed. That's just the linden flower benefits. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the rest. But here is the tea when it's brewed. I actually have, I didn't put it into a tea bag or anything, just the whole leaves. But you can see that really pretty yellow-orange color. And that color tells you basically that it's actually good for the digestive system. And I think I mentioned in a previous video that the digestive system, or the chakra that's associated with the digestive area, is yellow. So it's showing up a little bit more red, but it's actually like a really pretty yellow. So that shows you that this is actually going to be a tea that's really good for the digestive area. All right. So that's how it looks whenever it's brewed. It's really pretty. It's really flavorful. You really don't have to put any sweetener in it, because it has peppermint in there, which gives it a nice flavor. Okay, so another ingredient is the elderflower, and the elderflower actually got pretty famous, I think, when who is it that just got married? At least a year ago, Prince Harry and Meghan. When they got married, and I think Princess Catherine also, I think their cake was also traditionally made with elderflower. Right, so elderflower has been really becoming a bit more popular simply because of those two royal weddings. Well, elderflower is really good for cold and flu, as well as the elderberry. I've spoken a lot about the elderberry, and that's something that I use all year round to keep myself from getting a cold or the flu or any kind of, those viruses that are going around. The elderflower is also a diuretic. So it's, if you're taking any kind of diuretic medication, you don't want to take the elderflower, because it could help you to lose quite a bit of water. So you have to be very careful with if you're on any kind of diuretic medication. Elderflower is also antibacterial. It's antiviral. It is definitely immune boosting. So this is another reason why I love to use elderberries and elderflower, because it boosts the immune system and just keeps you from getting all of those colds that come around in I guess summertime has its cold, wintertime has their various colds. It's also good for relieving pain. So this is the elderflower. Just drinking a cup of elderflower tea is actually really good for just reducing any kind of pain that you might have. It doesn't take it away completely, but it does help to minimize the pain. Elderflower is also good for reducing blood sugar. So if you're taking diabetes medication, you don't want to be drinking elderflower tea, because then your blood sugar may drop a little bit too low, right? So you have to be really careful. The thing is, a lot of people don't realize that herbal medicine can interact with your pharmaceutical meds. Just because it's a natural remedy doesn't mean that it doesn't have side effects, especially if you're going to be using it in conjunction with the pharmaceutical medication. So anytime you're taking pharmaceutical meds, make sure that you're checking to see that the herbal remedies that you're taking are not going to affect the pharmaceutical meds, and vice versa, right? If you're trying to get off of pharmaceutical medications, then make sure you're consulting with your doctor to help in that way. Don't just cut your pharmaceutical medications cold turkey and then start with your herbal remedies, because that can also cause a lot of problems. So do it the right way and consult with your doctor, or consult with an herbalist, and they can also work with you to help you to come off of the pharmaceuticals and onto a more natural remedy, and doing it the right way. All right. So elderflower does help to reduce blood sugar, and it's also used against that nasty MRSA. So you can do a little bit more research on that as well. All of these herbs that I'm going to be mentioning, do your own research on them. There's a lot of studies that have been done on all of these herbs. I don't have any side effects from any of them because I'm not on any pharmaceutical medications. But if you are taking pharmaceutical meds, please make sure to check to make sure that you can take them safely, or try to come off of the pharmaceuticals and into a more natural remedy. I did mention calendula. That is the one. Actually, let me take up a piece right here because I do have a big bud. This is a calendula flower head with some of the petals that are still attached. And it's the one that I also showed in this jar. This is calendula that is being infused with olive oil, and calendula is the one that I use as a moisturizer in my, we just go ahead and grab it, in this blend here. This is my moisturizer. It's an essential oil blend with calendula. All right. So calendula is a great antioxidant. It also helps to promote wound healing. So it's really safe if you have any kind of, I mentioned that with all of the, hi Michelle, with all of the lupus rash that I had before that caused a little bit of scarring, you can tell that there isn't any. So calendula has been basically the oil that saved my life, or the herb, the plant, that pretty much saved my skin. So that is really good for when it comes to wound healing. So if you have any kind of, like rashes, some calendula oil, or even just brewing some calendula tea and then using the tea itself after it's cooled, of course, and using that as a compress, or just washing over the wound, making sure that there's no tiny little particles in there. So sometimes one of the best things to do is to just kind of use, get a piece of fabric, like cotton fabric, dip it into the calendula tea that you've made, and then use that as a compress onto the area that you may have a rash or any kind of wound, and that actually helps to heal the wounds a little bit faster. It's really good for that. And I mentioned ulcers. If you could also make a mouthwash out of this, if you have any kind of ulcers in your mouth, you could make a mouthwash and just swish that around. Really good for that as well. I mentioned the oral health, making a mouthwash. It's great for the skin. If you have any kind of muscle fatigue, let's say you went out running and you come back and your muscles are kind of aching, you could also use the calendula infused oil and use that as a massage oil, or you could simply take some of the tea and just use that to kind of massage your muscles with, and that will be really helpful for that as well. So all of these ingredients that I'm mentioning is what's in the tea blend. So you see each of them individually have a lot of different benefits. So you can imagine the powerhouse that they are when they're working together. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. Um, oh, I have to mention this. If you do have an allergy to chamomile, I don't know who does. I've never met anyone who does, but you know, people can have allergies to different things. So if you are allergic to chamomile, you cannot drink calendula because they're basically in the same family. If you're not, then you're safe there. Also, if you're pregnant, you should not use calendula because calendula is really also good for things to do with PMS. And if your cycle has kind of stopped and it's irregular, people have used calendula to kind of get it regular again. So it kind of promotes your flow rather than, slowing it down. So if you are pregnant, one of the things that it can do is cause a miscarriage. So you have to be very careful when using calendula. And if you're working with an herbalist and you're using it, you do want to get pregnant, make sure that they're aware of it, and you kind of have to plan your pregnancy after you've basically stopped working with calendula. So that's the only drawback. Also, if you're taking blood pressure medication, you don't want to take calendula or drink calendula tea along with taking blood pressure medication because calendula, it's very relaxing, so it lowers your blood pressure. So if you're taking the calendula tea and you're taking blood pressure medication at the same time, your blood pressure is going to drop really low. So you have to be really careful whenever you're drinking the calendula tea because it is sedating, right? So it's going to lower your blood pressure a lot. Lemon balm is also in here. And most people, when they hear lemon balm, they're very familiar with the fact that it does help to relieve stress and anxiety. It does also boost your cognitive function. So if you're having a hard time kind of focusing on things, drinking some lemon balm tea does help with that as well. But the way that I have it blended in here, it's not really for cognitive function. It's kind of helping with anxiety and stress. Because this is a tea that you can drink like in the late afternoon, early evening when you're trying to get ready for sleep. This is really good for that. Lemon balm is also good for relieving indigestion. So if you're having any issues with the digestive tract, then this lemon balm is really good for that. And that's why I mentioned the color, if you weren't here before, the color of the tea, that nice yellow color, it's probably showing up more red for you, but it's actually a really pretty yellow. And that color is associated with the digestive area, which indicates that it would be really good for your digestive system, the stomach, the intestines, that sort of thing. And lemon balm also helps to relieve nausea. So if you have any issues with nausea, it's good for that as well. The last one that's in here is peppermint. Let me go ahead and show you. But there's not a lot of peppermint in here. I'll tell you the blend. So if you want to make it, it's actually on the bottom of the cap. I'll tell you the exact blend. Okay, so it's 1 part of all of the others and half a part of the peppermint. So if you use 1 cup of calendula, 1 cup of the lemon balm, 1 cup of linden flowers, and 1 cup of elderberry or elderflowers, then you're going to use half a cup of peppermint. When I say the part, it basically is, whether you're doing tablespoons or teaspoons or whatever the case is. So it's 1 whole part for everything else except the peppermint, which is half a part. And the peppermint is basically there to kind of give it a little bit more flavor, not necessarily for a relaxing effect. But the peppermint is also really good for the digestive tract, right? If you ever had a migraine headache or have a headache, the peppermint essential oil, which I spoke about in previous videos, taking a few drops of that and just massaging the back of your neck will actually help to take away the headache. And there's a lot of different studies that have been done on all of these herbs. So do the research and you'll find that, I'm not just spewing out information. There's actually a lot of documented medical research that has been done on these herbs, and you can find them for yourself. I'm not going to go into a ton of detail because then we'll be here forever. So the peppermint essential oil is really good for headaches, so you can massage that on the back of your neck. You can also massage it on the tummy, but the peppermint tea we know is really good for digestion as well. If you're having any kind of upset stomach, that's one of the things that we always, drink, instead of ginger tea or peppermint tea, right? So the peppermint is also really good for freshening your breath. If you put a drop of peppermint essential oil in with just a little bit of coconut oil and you swish that around in your mouth, that's really good as an oil pulling agent, freshening your breath at the same time. Put a drop of the peppermint oil in with your toothpaste. You find a lot of toothpaste are actually flavored with peppermint essential oil because of that, because it actually helps to freshen your breath, right? And then at dinner time, when you go to a lot of fancy dinners or go to different restaurants, you'll usually find a little bowl that has the little mints that are there, and it's because peppermint is known to freshen your breath, right? See what else. Also, if you smell peppermint essential oil or even the tea, as you're drinking the tea, you'll find that your sinuses will clear up because it's really good for unclogging the sinuses as well. It does help to help with sleep. So if you're having trouble sleeping, just sipping on some peppermint tea will help with that as well. It also helps with weight loss. There are a lot of people who, when they're on a diet, will drink peppermint tea, or they will smell the peppermint essential oil because it does help to take away that urge to eat. I've never tried it, but I do have a blend that is actually for cellulite, and peppermint is in there. So I'm guessing it probably well. So if you've tried peppermint oil for peppermint essential oil or the tea for weight loss, I'd love to know what your results were. Peppermint also helps with seasonal. Let me try that again. With seasonal allergies, and one of the blends that I've mentioned previously, called LLP, which is made with lemon, lavender, and peppermint essential oil, is actually an allergy blend that I've made for different family members who, this time of the year, whenever the pollen is really high, they work with that particular oil blend and it helps them with the allergies. And simply just by taking some and rubbing around the nostrils, or just taking that and massaging the neck, back of the neck, under the throat area, they have different ways of working with it, but definitely just massaging around the nose helps with the seasonal allergies. And that blend is lemon, lavender, and peppermint. That's an essential oil blend. But you could actually make a tea, because you could cut up some lemon, pieces of lemon, lavender, as well as peppermint, and just steep that, and that's a really good tea blend as well. Peppermint also helps with concentration. It's definitely one of those that I work with my son in an essential oil blend to help him with whenever he's taking tests or doing something that he considers to be really boring as far as school is concerned. And putting these particular essential oils together, basil, grapefruit, rosemary, and peppermint, is a really awesome blend when you're looking at when you're needing some help for focus, concentration, or remembering the stuff that you're studying. All right, so again, the ingredients in this tea blend, I'll show it to you one more time. The ingredients are linden flower and bark, as well as the leaves. There's also elderflower, there's calendula, lemon balm, and peppermint. And that's what it looks like. Let me just pick up the big jar. Let me go ahead and pour this back in here. This is the big jar of it. Let's see if I can get a good view. So you can see. And that is my Cool It Down and Relax tea, or the original name that I mentioned earlier, CTFO, which is basically chilled out. And you want to drink this towards the end of the day, when you just really want to wind down. But if you do have really high anxiety or stress issues, you can drink this during the day as well. You just don't want to drink it when you're trying to operate a vehicle or really, operating any kind of machinery. You definitely don't want to do that because a lot of the ingredients do have a sedating effect. Right? So that is the Cool It Down and Relax tea. And again, this is what it looks like whenever it is brewed. So if you're just coming in, go ahead and just watch the replay and you can get all of the information of the different ingredients in this tea blend. I'm also going to be posting a link where you can get the particular ingredients. And something just went into my eye. I don't have an affiliate account with this company, so I am only referring you to them because I know of the quality of their products. And it is Mountain Rose Herbs, but I'll go ahead and I will post the link in the comments. So if you want to go ahead and order some of these ingredients for yourself, that you can do that and make this tea yourself. You can also research other herbs that will be good for stress relief. Lavender is another one that you could add in here. That's not one that I chose to put in, but it's certainly one that might work for you. So if you have any questions about any of these ingredients, please feel free to post them in the link below and I will certainly get those addressed as quickly as possible. Do the research on each of these herbs that I mentioned, the linden flower, elderflower, calendula, lemon balm, peppermint. There's a lot of medical research that has been done on all of these herbs and that documents a lot of the benefits that I've mentioned, as well as some of the side effects that I've mentioned. So please don't start to take any of this especially if you're taking, blood pressure medication or diabetic medication. Please make sure that you're consulting with your doctor or with an herbalist to ensure that they can work with you and you can take all of these in a safe manner. Right? If you don't have any more questions, let me make sure I've answered everything that's here. So if you don't have any questions, I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. I was trying to come earlier, but like I said, someone was playing music and they've just kind of calmed down right now, actually. But if you do have any questions, feel free to just post them here in the comments, or you can also direct message me if there are any other tea blends that you might be interested in hearing about. I do have one that I think I will share. I thought this was neat. I call it Tea Time Tuesday. So if you like that idea of me coming on a Tuesday to share different tea blends with you, let me know, because I have a lot of different tea blends that I could actually share with you that are just really good. They taste good. They do your body good. I want to say 95% of them are ones that I've created. I do have some that were made by other people, but 95% of these are ones that I've created that taste really good and have actually done really well for me. So if you'd like to have Tea Time Tuesday, a regular, today is actually day 2 of my fast. That's why I'm not actually drinking any of these, because I'm doing a water fast through Wednesday, tomorrow. And I know some of you are actually doing that with me as well. So I'm going to be going into the group to do a little meditation in the Lead Your Health group with them. I'm also thinking about coming on the page itself here and doing a little bit of a meditation with everyone here, because I know we're living in a really stressful time right now. It helps, whether it's just a 5-minute meditation, tea in the afternoon, that will help to relieve some anxiety. So if you'd like to have Tea Time Tuesday, make that a regular thing, let me know, and I can certainly do that. We could probably go through the rest of the year on a Tea Time Tuesday and not do a single tea blend a second time. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and shut off here, and I just want to say thank you to everyone who has been popping in to say hello. I appreciate all of the comments that you leave. I do appreciate all of the feedback that I've been getting. And I just enjoy spending a few times with you, a few minutes with you every afternoon. So thank you all for being here and sharing this time with me. I love you all. Please stay safe.